So when my wife asked me if I wanted a new table saw for Christmas, of course I said. I could really use one. And here it is. The 4-inch mighty-mite table saw from Harbor Freight. I'm going to go ahead and unbox this and see what we have here. And actually, I did ask for this table saw. It's kind of something that I need for doing small parts. It'll make it a lot easier than trying to use my bandsaw or my large table saw. First thing we find is the instruction book right on top. And then you can see that everything is well packed in styrofoam. No damage whatsoever. This will be the extra saw blade that comes with it. I believe that's a diamond blade. Screws, nuts, and attachments. An eye shield that will attach to the cut guard. And here's your cutting guard. And also included is an adjustable miter guide fence that slides on the top of the table. And like I say, as you can see, it's packed in styrofoam. And the table saw itself is in plastic. I don't like that the blade was shipped in the up position. And it is quite heavy. And the blade is super sharp. The saw itself has a heavy-duty 3-prong power cord. And the cord itself is pretty lengthy. The cord itself is a little over 4 feet, considering it's just a benchtop saw. And most people have plugs readily accessible on their benchtop. You know, the first thing we're going to do is remove this sticker because we're smart enough not to use this as a wet cut saw. Some of my friends understand this one, so I'm going to wear this while I put this together. What we've done is we've scraped the sticker, the warning sticker, off the table. And I've got some deep creep here, and I kind of like that for getting the glue off of things. And just let it soak for a few minutes. Wherever there's glue, it'll creep right in there and take it off. Now on the box it's advertised as a 4-inch diameter circular saw blade. Saw perfect cuts, picture frames, molding, and plastics. Which is just kind of what I'm going to be doing with it, is cutting maybe 1/8 inch wood to make frames around windows for birdhouses, doll houses, and so forth. Okay, the instructions with this, as with most Harbor Freight items, you kind of got to do it yourself. So we've got a small piece with 2 holes, and this is metal. We've got our blade guard. The metal piece slides in the blade guard, lining up the holes at the rear for the screw. 1 Phillips head screw, 1 Phillips head screw, and a washer through the plastic and the metal piece. Then a washer on the opposite side and a wing nut. has a slot here where the blade's going to go, and then it's going to attach at the rear of the table to this metal. Now when we attach that plate, we only need the one Phillips screw, and we slide it through the metal piece into the plastic piece. Then we'll use a washer and a wing nut. And that way the washer is running against the plastic and not the metal nut. And I would just say hand tightening would be good on that. And then you also have an eye shield that'll go on the front here with the Phillips screw, just like so. I'm not going to put that on at this point because I wear safety glasses anyway. One thing I'll do with the eye shield is I'll put my screw in and put a piece of painter's tape over it to hold the screw there, so that if I ever do decide I want to use that, I've got the proper screw for it. By the way, as per the instructions, always unplug the unit when working on it, and mine is unplugged. On the bottom, you've got an access to the electrical circuit. You've got 4 rubber feet. You've got your table adjustment knob, and that can also be loosened by hand and the table completely removed. And there's our motor. And there's a big sticker on the motor to prevent serious injury, including hand amputation. Unplug the saw. Well, I guess that makes sense. Again, you know, these warnings are there because somebody didn't do what they were supposed to do. Okay, so we're going to get ready to try it here and get a piece of wood. Good cut. Well, one thing I'm seeing though is you need to have an extension in the front of this table itself as well as behind, and probably some to the side. I don't know how much yet, but you know, it's supposed to be compact. And in the instruction book it tells you your maximum depth cut at 90 degrees is 3/4 of an inch. Now, I'm sure if you go to 45 it may bind up if you are at 3/4 of an inch. It also says the arbor diameter is 1/2 inch, so if you're going to buy any blades for this, you want to make sure that you've got a 1/2 inch diameter arbor on that blade. And like with anything, read the instruction book. They also tell you to make sure that you use that eye guard, and that's probably a good idea even with safety glasses. I'm going to run this through. It's about a 1/2 inch piece of scrap. I'm going to see how it'll cut 1/2 inch. I don't think I'll be going up to 3/4 on this one. It's not really what I bought it for, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to adjust the table here. And see how this runs through. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a blade with more teeth to give me a better cut, and we'll see if we can't get one and see how that works. But for dowel rods and small framing pieces, this is going to be great. You can also set your angles right here. And like I say, I'm going to build some sort of surround for it to give me a little bit more room here. Okay, and I think it's a good saw. It appears to have a good sounding motor, and it appears to be heavy duty. So we'll continue to try it and see where we get with it. And I'll certainly let you know if there were any difficulties. Another Harbor Freight purchase that seems to be doing well. Well, I think this is another Harbor Freight tool that's going to work good for us. Right now we have a drill press. We have the 8-inch drill press central machinery. We have 2 router tables. I actually have a separate router that's Harbor Freight. We've got a lot of Harbor Freight tools, and we'll kind of go through those over the next couple months to show you how they function and how well they function. And I think it's a great place to buy tools if you're a hobbyist. It's not something for making cabinetry or anything like that, but it will work for the hobby woodworker. And thanks again, and stop back and watch us some more. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check us out on Blogspot, Facebook, Google+, and Pinterest. And you can email us at badlandswoodenstuff@midrivers.com. Stop back and see us again soon.